Well, the education sector vaccine rollout in full swing in Limpopo. It was launched by the Basic Education Minister, Angie, on Friday. For that province, Motshekga has called on all unions to try and encourage education workers to get vaccinated. As we've just heard, though, from Basil Manuel, there are some people they're trying to convince, but some people just not interested. So what is happening in Limpopo itself? Well, luckily we have Lindokuhle Xulu, who is there for us. You're at the Pietersburg Hospital in Polokwane. Hello to you, Linda. What does it look like there this morning?
Well, Gareth, we haven't gotten the numbers in terms of what happened yesterday with vaccinations, but we know that the province of Limpopo is planning in the 2 days, that is yesterday as well as today, to vaccinate over 38,400 of its education workers. And as you can see just behind me, there are many teachers that are still lining up to get some of those vaccines. Well, I understand that this is happening on a scheduled manner. So at this stage, I can tell you that more teachers are in fact coming to various vaccine centers. This is the Pietersburg Hospital, as you rightfully put it. But across the province, there is an expectation that many of these scenes are taking place. Yesterday, we saw the MEC of Health, the MEC of Education, but led by the Minister of Education, Angie, and what they were basically doing was encouraging teachers to ensure that they come forward and vaccinate and honor their commitments and honor their schedules that they've been given to come and get some of those vaccines. They're saying that this will be an important step moving forward, but leading from the front was, of course, the MEC of Education, Polokwane, who in fact vaccinated first before any of the teachers vaccinated yesterday. So vaccinations are still continuing today. This is a 2-day set out for Limpopo, and they're saying that in the 2 days they will be able to vaccinate 38,400 teachers.
And as far as the teachers being able to make their way to these vaccine centres, Linda, I'm talking if we compare Gauteng and perhaps the Western Cape, more populous provinces, even KZN to a certain degree, and we talk Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Northern Cape, which we spoke about earlier in the week, it's a much wider area to cover. The groupings of schools and where teachers are much further apart, aren't they? How much of an issue is that for Limpopo?
Well, I can tell you that it hasn't been an issue, and the MEC of Health yesterday credited this to the planning, the amount of planning they've had undergone to ensure that the rollout of vaccines, not just on this particular stage, but in the phase 2 as well. They're saying that they were quite successful. I can tell you that even the Minister of Education yesterday, while she was addressing teachers, she did commend Limpopo for being one of the leading places when it comes to vaccinating people from the 60 plus to now the education sector. They're saying they're confident that they'll be able to do this, but we've been given a list of some of the vaccination sites, and you can see that in each and every place, there's Toyando, there's Giani, and all sorts of places, there have been vaccination centers that have been set up. What we understand at this stage is that 37 of those vaccination centers are mainly focused on the teachers and rolling out this particular vaccination. So it hasn't been an issue. In fact, Limpopo is one of the provinces, according to the minister, who says she sits in the NCCC. She says that the feedback they are getting from Limpopo is the fact that, from the National Coronavirus Command Council, is the fact that Limpopo is one of those areas that, while it is a vast area with rural areas, they are leading in terms of vaccination. So I don't think they've been having an issue. But of course, Gareth, we will get a sense of whether their strategies are still working when we get the numbers consolidated from yesterday, as well as what is happening today here at some of the vaccination sites across the province.
Lindo, just very quickly before I let you go, I see some criticism about the number of days that have been planned for the vaccine rollout. I recall the number being 4 days in total. Just help me understand, is that correct? And are you hearing, if that is the case, if that's enough time?
Yes, I think the strategy that we've been told is Limpopo's strategy is to basically use the weekend. So Friday and Saturday, that's when they are vaccinating, the education staff here. But I can tell you what they have said to us, what they have confirmed is that based on how it's going preliminarily, they're saying that they will be able to use up the 38,400 vaccines that they've gotten from government, and they're saying the next batch, which will be used next week as well, they'll be able to complete, because they are looking at a scale of 40,000 plus teachers. So if they are to actually vaccinate 38,400 today, then you can see that there is a number, there's a less number that is expected to continue in the next 2 days, which is going to be the next weekend. But I can tell you that other things they've told us is that what is helping them is that there are some teachers that are 60 plus that have already been vaccinated. So from this 40,000 plus teachers that they are expected to vaccinate, they're saying that a number of them have already been vaccinated. Their plan is to vaccinate 38,400 this week, and next week will just be a completion of the remainder of those teachers as well as the education staff that is going to be coming to their vaccination site.